Muhammad Ghori was dead. His empire was breaking apart. So how did a fragile conquest in North India survive long enough to become the Delhi Sultanate? Between sudden death, palace coups, Mongol armies, and iron rule, nothing was guaranteed. In June 1206, Qutb al-Din Aibak took control of the northern territories. As a former military slave, he focused on securing a fragile base rather than ruling as an established emperor. To cement this new presence, Aibak began building the Qutb minor, using stone from 27 demolished local temples to stamp his authority onto the skyline of Delhi. But before his state could take root, disaster struck. In late 1210, Aibak fell from his horse during a polo match and died. His sudden death left the young regime leaderless, exposing just how unsettled the conquest truly was. But the Sultanate's biggest challenge was only beginning. The answer came from an unlikely figure. Shams-ud-Din Iltutmish had risen from a military slave to become the governor of Balban. In 1211, after Delhi's nobles rejected the ineffective Aram Shah, they invited Iltutmish to take the throne. He defeated his rivals, moved the capital permanently to Delhi, and began turning a fragile military conquest into a permanent state. To survive, Iltutmish needed more than brute force. He needed legitimacy, which meant getting his subjects and rivals to accept his right to rule. In 1229, he secured a formal letter of recognition from the Abbasid Caliph in Baghdad. He stamped the Caliph's name onto new standardized silver coins called tankas and copper jitals, signaling to the Islamic world that Delhi was now a sovereign, lawful empire. On the ground, Iltutmish consolidated control by annexing Bengal, Sindh, and Multan. He organized the territory using the IQTA system, assigning land revenues to military officers in exchange for their service and loyalty. This administrative network was soon reinforced by an unexpected influx of scholars, bureaucrats, and skilled soldiers fleeing the Mongol invasions in Central Asia. These refugees brought administrative expertise that transformed Delhi's court into a sophisticated hub of Persian bureaucracy, giving the young Sultanate the institutional backbone it needed to survive. Yet this victory created a new problem. The elite corps of 40 Turks, originally formed by Iltutmish to secure his throne, grew into powerful kingmakers. When Iltutmish broke tradition by naming his daughter Razia as his successor in 1236, this noble council rebelled. Razia ruled with authority, wearing male dress and leading armies, but her promotion of an African noble, Jamal-ud-Din Yakut, turned the Turkish elite against her. Led by regional governors like Malik al-Tunia, the 40 organized armed revolts. Razia's defeat and death near Kaithal in October 1240 proved that while the Sultanate had institutions, it still lacked stable succession. But Delhi still faced a threat that could destroy everything. Far to the north, the Mongol Empire had become the dominant force in the world, leaving a trail of ruined cities across Central Asia. Terrified families fled south into India, bringing warnings of the unimaginable devastation heading toward the frontier. The Sultanate's northwest borders lay completely exposed, leaving the capital vulnerable to sudden violent raids. If these unstoppable horsemen fully focused their power on the young state, it would not survive. What happened next would determine whether the Sultanate survived. Ghiyas al-Din Balban was the hard political answer to a state fractured by internal rivalry. Having risen from the same slave markets as Iltutmish, Balban spent years climbing the ranks of the elite 40 Turks. He understood the inner workings of noble politics, making his eventual betrayal of his own class absolute. After seizing the throne in 1266, Balban decided that survival required obedience to the crown. He systematically destroyed the political power of the 40 Turks, executing rebellious commanders and confiscating their land grants. By replacing independent governors with loyal agents and forcing nobles to prostrate themselves before his raised throne, Balban ended decades of noble king-making. He reorganized the state around rigid military discipline, ensuring that all authority flowed straight from the Sultan. Balban secured the frontier by building a chain of forts from Lahore to Bathinda, creating a standing guard that turned back a major Mongol raid at the Sutlej River in 1279. To enforce obedience at home, he transformed the court into a theater of power. Under his rules, nobles had to drop to their knees and prostrate themselves before his raised throne. He claimed descent from a legendary Persian hero to justify his absolute rule, refusing to hire anyone who was not of noble Turkish blood. This rigid system kept the peace, but it alienated local elites and drew sharp criticism from chroniclers like Barani. When Balban died in 1287, the limits of his iron rule became clear. He left behind a secure border, but no capable heir to hold the state together. Today, Delhi's towering ruins still echo this fragile dawn, proving that authority is never guaranteed. It must be forged through survival. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.